My name is Dean Hankey. I'm a full-time professional entertainer and educator, have been for well over 40 years. And I just here to serve, support, and encourage. If I can be of value service, please let me know. So, well,
Yeah.
to me, this is an opportunity because, you know, first of all, if you're late to the virtual performing model, you're late. You're late to the model, but that is not to say you can't. You know, what's the next best time to start something like today, now,
That's right.
and then the next best time after that is like tomorrow.
Hmm.
You know, so to and the opportunity is so incredible that you can live stream at no cost in and invite people to participate, whether it's ticketed or whether it's gated or not, or whether you
Hmm.
just use a portion to create some incredible value as a performer, as a presenter, as an entertainer, as an educator. It really doesn't matter. You know, and live networking events are going virtual. They're having to make that pivot, that adjustment, in order to survive, and I think ultimately thrive, because people, it even at a convenience point. Yeah, sure, I love human connection. I'm a people person, always have been, always will be. You are as well. And but you know, you know, clicking from place to place will never replace face to face. That
Right.
said, the opportunity to leverage virtual, uh, and especially live streaming, because there's something about being there live at a live streaming event that is psychologically, emotionally, spiritually, relationally different than watching even a replay or a video.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. We're actually planning to host a virtual music conference, kind of
Perfect.
to replace South by Southwest. We did it in 2013,
I remember. I
and
remember. I was
and the,
there
you know,
actually.
the yeah, the software was just clunky,
Mm-hmm.
and we learned a lot. Trying to put. We had 500 people from all around the world, but because they were from all around the world in different time zones, and we spread it out over 3 days, there weren't as many people online at one time as we
Right.
wanted.
Right.
But the software has changed. We
That's
know
right.
that we can reach a whole lot more people. I'm expecting to have 20,000 people on there,
Beautiful.
and
Beautiful.
it will be live. You'll be able to set up a booth and do live talks or do live product presentations or live shows
Right.
for booking agents, for buyers and everything, because that's
Yeah.
where they're going to go shopping now.
Yeah. And at that time, that technology was still in a sort of
Very
uh,
much.
beta mode. Now there are several platforms that you can do that, where you can enter into other rooms, you can enter in banquet facilities, you can enter
Yep.
in, you can sit at tables with people, virtual tables with people, so you can have conversations with the people at your table. You can move from table to table or venue to venue, or you're like,
Hmm.
hey, if you want to get a closer seat, boom, you move up and get a closer seat. And so the technology is I think ready for prime time now, as they say.
I agree. And, in trying to get one of the platforms, they kept saying that, we're delayed because everybody's moving to virtual.
Uh-huh.
And that's kind of what this whole conversation is about, surviving and embracing the virtual economy.
Yep, absolutely.
And what I see is everything is moving indoors and online right now, and not everything, but a lot of what the musicians would be and your variety artists are also dealing with. Online learning and entertainment is just going to get bigger and better.
Yep.
People are ordering takeout from restaurants rather than sitting there because they don't want to be
Yep.
connecting with people. They're
Yep.
having goods delivered rather than shopping, except for toilet paper. They're going to get the toilet paper.
And they're having it delivered. Walmart.
And that's true. Um, there's much less person to person contact right now.
Yeah.
Entertainment's being cut, and if it's not cut, it's shifting to smaller bands, DJs. And people are having much smaller events. Weddings are not going to be as big. They're going to be at home. There's going to be a lot of different changes like that.
Yeah.
Uh, do you have uh, some other ideas of ways? What's changing? What are the new habits?
Well, I think the new habit or pivots to adopt certainly are whether you're doing online and offline events, is to coexist in both those environments. I think leaving the virtual opportunity off the table, I think you're missing a good portion of your opportunity. I mean, obviously, there are geographic considerations when you are only offline. In other words, if you're doing live. Now, I've always been a boutique event kind of guy, especially with my business trainings and things like that. I love groups of 50 to 100.
Hmm.
As opposed to, and hey, listen, both of us have done groups of 20,000, so we know what it's
Right.
like to have large audiences. Um, but to and to leverage the distance learning audience or the distance participation, again, especially in a live streaming event, and then for those who can't attend live, give them the opportunity. And with technology like Zoom, and I don't know if you noticed that the CEO of Zoom, the founder of Zoom, is offering Zoom up to educational institutions for free,
Wow.
their unlimited packages, and so are some of the other, Dropbox and some of the
Hmm.
other big corporations, because the digital environment is where people are meeting.
Right.
And again, clicking from place to place will never replace face to face, as I said before, but it is a very, very reasonable close second. And the
Right.
nice thing is, you can create, if you frame it and you leverage it in a way that's proper, you can do better things in an online environment. First of all, you have forced perspective. Here's the frame. There are no
Right.
distractions. So you can
Hmm.
control that focus, whether it's with visual PowerPoints like you have here, video content, um, multiple people in interview setting, or a panel environment, or open discussion, or all of those things. That and again, the cost is exponentially uh, less expensive, because you can get people who can attend who otherwise perhaps would not be able to attend, especially in an environment like we have right now, regardless of finances.
Hmm.
Second of all, get to do it at the comfort of their own office or home or environment, or wherever they happen to be. They could be at a sidewalk cafe enjoying a distance learning experience, or a distance immersion experience, and and on their portable pocket production device called the phone, right?
Hmm.
So yeah, there's a lot of opportunity. And again, I think we have to shift with the paradigm, i.e., we have to change the way, or at least add some different experiential modalities. Like, for instance, every once in a while, I do what I call Whiteboard Wednesday, where I literally get up, stand up, clip on a lavalier microphone, and I do a whiteboard training, as opposed to a PowerPoint training or a live stream in person,
Hmm.
just sitting in front of a webcam. Sometimes we do multiple camera production kind of opportunities, where we have guests, where we switch between PowerPoints and live streaming and video and all the other kinds of things. So it could be as engaging on this screened platform that we're used to seeing. And the old idea of just sitting there and have talking heads is far and away outdated as the only modality by which we connect and communicate.
I agree 100%. As you'll see, a lot of things that you're talking about are what I have in here.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I see people they're gonna be craving now. They're going to be craving friends
Yeah.
because they're not going to have as many social opportunities, new ways to interact with people, and that's something that we can give them. They're going to want encouragement. If this drags out for any amount of time, they're going to want to be encouraged. They want hope. They need distractions, and entertainment is one of the best distractions.
Yeah.
They need guidance on weathering the storm, and they need music and video because that's going to be their escape.
Yep. Yep. I've noticed that over the years, the more that the culture, the economy, and the experience, or whatever's going on, the more of that, the greater the escapism that is required for psychological wellness. People,
Right.
hey, we may not be getting as much for every gig, but there will be a whole lot more of them. At least that's the way it's been for me in my business as a performer and a presenter.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So some of the techniques, some of the things that people can do is definitely to stay in touch with their fans regularly.
Mm-hmm.
Now is not the time to abandon them just because you're not out there performing. Especially if that was your main way of connecting with them. You've got to be building your mailing list. You've got to be doing the live stuff and everything. You got to remind your fans about overcoming past adversities, and just keep them positive. Stay positive and encouraging. Explain what it is that you're doing and why. Why am I shifting to this? Um, write about your emotions. Write songs about them, about what's going on. Talk about it. People love to relate to your songs, and it's critical. And this is what people are going to be looking for now. Uh, it's just going to be a really, really valuable way for you to connect with people, because you all have something that you're sharing. And then musicians, all artists need to support each other, live and online. And there's going to be people who need help. So if you have a way of being able to help people, give a percentage of your sales to a community foundation to help out people who are losing their jobs because of this or whatever. I know I've got a post about, there's a new Facebook group here in Nashville. One was started in Seattle for musicians to support each other.
Yeah.
So if somebody's needs a place to stay, or needs to borrow equipment or whatever, whatever it is, it's just supporting each other in this time of crises.
Right. Yeah, and the more these kinds of things come up, economic and social, political, all of that stuff. The more of that comes up, the more we have a role as performers and presenters, entertainers and educators. The greater responsibility and role we have to serve and support. I'm a massive fan of the pay it forward and profit model, which is to serve and support nonprofit groups and organizations and worthwhile cause groups through our live presentation and performance, whether it's online or offline. So this is a pivot that will have to occur if we want to survive, not only survive, but thrive as an industry from here on out.
I agree 100%, 100%. And we're in a unique position to be able to do that.
Yes,
Not everybody can do that, but it doesn't cost anything to go perform at a fundraiser or to do an online fundraiser. It doesn't cost a penny to be able to help out in those ways. So there's a lot of opportunity there.
It's even profitable.
Yeah, you can.
More profitable than the traditional pay to play model.
Right. I've got a whole program that I put together about how to go and be endorsed basically by nonprofits and go and do, speak at them and perform, do keynotes and make good money at it while they're making lots of money.
Absolutely.
And it's a win-win. So that's another conversation, but it works. So I think right now, fan clubs, Patreon accounts, that's going to be the key to a lot of artists' survival. Mm-hmm. So if they don't have one set up, they need to do that, and they need to encourage engagement with everything that they're doing, stay in front of people. You talked about performing live online. There's so many different ways to do that. Twitch, Street Jelly, Facebook Live, YouTube Live. Yeah. And there's lots of ways that they can accept payments. I didn't put on here, I think, concert window was closed. Stage It is one that you can charge for it. I'm not sure about all these others, but I know you can charge for it. It's with Stage It. And you should also be doing non-performance broadcasts. Absolutely. Just to stay in front of people. You don't have to be performing every single time. Yep. And of course, this is a good time if you need to be creating, recording, anything like that. It's a good time to do all that.
Yeah. And pulling back the curtain to let people see a piece or a sliver or a slice of who you are as a human being, whether it's hey, here's a new song I've not yet debuted, or here's something I'm working on or writing, or I
Yep.
want to introduce you to one of my sound engineers, or hey, this is my bride and my baby, or
Right.
whatever. Let people see the humanity of you and your business, and again, that will far
And
and away out excel and generate more results for you and your business. You see that celebrities are doing this on a fairly regular basis, at least the smart ones
well,
are.
right now it's all about people want to connect with you.
That's right.
The music will come second.
Sure.
The music may get them to check you out, but they really want to be passionate about you. They want to know what you're passionate about. They want to know what you're interested in. They want to know what you believe in. They want to know what your lifestyle is. They want to know what your hobbies are. All of those things, because they're looking for another connection besides the music.
Yep.
And once you have that, then you have something to cultivate. It's like if you don't have anything in common with an artist, and you don't get to see them perform now or anything like that, I mean, you're just not, they're going to go away, out of sight, out of mind.
Right.
But when you're sharing something that you have in common, you make an effort to reach out to that person or to connect with them, to watch them online, because you feel like they're your friend. And that's never been more important than it is now.
It is.
It's been that way in the industry for the last couple of years. Yep. Where when you walk, I have a whole plan of where you walk the public through. First, they're going to notice you, and then they're going to get curious, and they're going to do some research, and then they're going to do a little testing, and then you get a chance to engage them, and then finally you get them to make a commitment.
Right.
And the commitment is joining your Patreon or your fan club, definitely your mailing list, purchasing things, and they become your 1,000 true fans.
Right.
But you've got to move them along that path. And a lot of that is not going to be just music based. It's going to be what else are they passionate about? I'm telling my artists now, on your Spotify profiles, don't just put down this is where I played and this is what my music bio is. Talk about other things that are important to you, because that's where you're going to find those niches that will fall in love with you. And that's where the live non-performance broadcasts are exactly that.
Right.
Here's some more things.
And sharing the imperfect humanity of who we are.
Right.
Because then people will automatically, psychologically and otherwise, they'll say, oh, he or she they're like me. They're not perfect. They don't teach the walking on water class at the YMCA. They're human. So
yep.
And that's where people connect.
Absolutely. So basically, you've got to create new fan habits. You got to get them used to seeing you on a regular basis. You can find networks online to tap into, Facebook groups and things like that are very specialized to tap into them. Ramp up your engagement. Contests are a great way to do that. Now's a good time to be taking your music and preparing it and submitting it to film and TV, because there's going to be more film and TV now, because people are using that as an escape. And so you're going to see more production, which is going to be huge for the industry and huge for musicians. And you've got to be entrepreneurial. What are people buying that you can offer them? If you thought of it 2 weeks ago, you could have had white labeled toilet paper and made a mint. But your merch is going to be a big deal. You can use that to increase your income. You need to be looking at every kind of stream of income that you can get: sync placements, teaching, custom writing. You just got to be creative with the ways that you make money. Things that you probably didn't want to do and were happy that you weren't able to do, weren't needing to do before, like custom writing. It's not everybody wants to write songs for weddings or something like that, but those are going to be really popular now, especially any kind of, like, for writing for advertisements. I always tell people, if you're a writer and you've got a little studio, why don't you just listen to the radio and find local companies that don't have a jingle. Write a jingle for them bring it down to them. Say, you'll do more business, a whole lot more business if you use this jingle. I'll sell it to you for $500. You'd be amazed how you in 5 minutes you could create something that you can make $500 on.
Mm-hmm.
So you just got to get creative nowadays. You got to build your newsletter list, your mailing list, because that's always been critical. The online platforms they change their algorithms, they go away, people grow out of them and everything, but they don't change their email. And so it's great to have that.
Find online and offline newsletters. So few people are getting anything but bills and junk in their physical mailbox. And if you're one of those people who are present and interesting and engaging and entertaining, hello, what a word, in their mailbox, you will outperform because it's so easy. How easy is it to hit the delete button? And how many subscriptions, be honest, how many newsletters do we all subscribe to that we don't even read? We delete them before we even open them.
Yep.
Well, get back into their mailbox, and you'll find a surprise. I'm not saying do it all the time, but at least maybe try quarterly, try a biannual, and see what happens.
Well, especially now when people are going to be craving that personal touch. Because it's online, that's one way that you can reach out to somebody in a much more personal way than just online, because it does take effort. Right. It does cost you 50 cents or whatever, right. But it's the whole thought that it was personalized to them. Right. That's very endearing. So that's a great tip.
And bridging the gap from high tech to high touch. Use your resources to move them around to different parts of your virtual online and offline experience. In other words, send them to a live, personalized, individualized video. Hey, respond here to this and click here to get a free download here, or a gift, or watch this free pre-recorded content, or.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I think that's so incredible. Mm-hmm. And very, very, very rare. Right. I know if somebody, like, if I do some coaching for somebody and they send me a card, I hang it up on the bulletin board.
Yeah.
Because there aren't very many of them there, and it does make you feel special.
Sure, absolutely.
So, find niches where you can market your talent. Definitely your merch is going to be a big deal, or can be a big deal, especially if you have something that's totally unique.
Yeah.
House concerts, I think, are going to be huge, because people aren't going to have the big events, but they will invite their friends who they know aren't sick, and do small house concerts. So I think if you can perform at them, that would be great. If you can host them, even for other musicians, so you kind of create a house concert circuit, that would be awesome.
And also you'd be aware that people are actually paying for virtual talent, and have been for many, many years. So to be able to show up as a performer or as a presenter several times, been hired to go to large conferences and small conferences, even small board meetings and in-house companies, paying my regular presentation or speaking fee or performance fee, and save them the cost and expense of travel and accommodations and per diems and
exactly
all of those kinds of things. And even as a performer, imagine offering for the first time, maybe, that you have a live, engaging, interactive performance for your friends and family, but you're doing it virtually. They can cast it to their television, sit around in their own living room, and pay you to perform and entertain and educate and do whatever it is. And I haven't seen anybody really leveraging that other than the speaker industry. But I think it's a viable opportunity. Yeah, you may not be getting, $8,000 for your presentation but you also your cost.
Right.
How
you have
many
no
of those
expenses.
virtual conferences or concerts can you do? You could do 3 people's living rooms a night.
Right. Yeah, and that's my next thing. I perform at events via live video feeds.
Yeah.
Because that's critical. And eventually it's going to be where everybody has a hologram machine, and you'll be able to, show up in a hologram. But for now, there's nothing wrong when people have large screen TVs. There's nothing wrong with doing a personal live broadcast to that. You can call people by name. I mean, it is as personal as you can get. And so I think that's a huge shift in the market because people are going to be doing that. So that was just kind of what I put together. I do have a new website, Indie Connect TV, that I'll be doing a lot of training on. And I want to put this up there if it's okay with you.
Of course, please.
Just because I think
content, if you want, I'm happy to share it with you guys.
Yeah, that would be awesome. And I am definitely, right now it's all YouTube videos except for a few of mine. What I'm doing is I'm curating a whole bunch of videos to make sure that the content is relevant and that it's accurate and it's valuable. But there's a lot of places where I find gaps where there is nothing covering it, or it's older material. Somebody talked about it 5 years ago and it's not relevant anymore. So that's where I'm going to be filling in all those gaps and creating content. And that's, then we'll have a membership fee. But right now it's just free online training. It's about 150 videos on there.
Right. Yep. I think it's great.
Yeah. And then coming soon, the new music conference, virtual music conference. I've got to do it because people still are going to crave that connection.
Sure.
And they still want to build their, I don't think anyone believes that this whole coronavirus thing is a permanent switch. It may last a year, but things will get back to normal, and you've got to keep building your business in between. So that's why this is critical. Although I do think that this will create a lot of new virtual habits for people, where a lot more things will automatically, you might see colleges cutting down completely and doing a lot of stuff online compared to what they've been doing. And you may see a lot of conferences go virtual, which is why I want to jump on this right away, especially with South by Southwest going away. I'm kind of going to replace that. But, it's a different world, at least for the next year. And I think the habits that we create now will carry on, but we will get back to, people will crave the live performance and everything. And as soon as they get some things under control, it'll happen.
Yep.
Well, I really appreciate it, Dean.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Awesome. And what's your website?
DeanHankey.com is one of them. And the model I was talking about before, where you literally get paid money to serve others, is Pay It Forward and Profit. There are free tools and trainings there, not even an opt-in. You can just download and watch and learn and earn while you're helping other people.